Hello, everyone. Welcome to GA's Tea Time. We discuss all things General Hospital. If you haven't already, please hit the bell notification. The like and subscribe really helps the channel. And I want to send a special thank you for everybody that has already subscribed. So, guys, let's get our teacups, let's get our snacks, and let's get ready to discuss our favorite characters. General Hospital Daily Recap, Friday, March 13th, 2026. So, guys, there was a bunch of characters in this episode. We had some Jordan, some Portia, some Maxie, some Lulu, some Nathan. Let's see what our favorite bunch of characters are up to. Sunny was talking to Gio, and I thought this was a very interesting conversation because he was basically telling Gio he got to find his place in life. Like after that whole nurses ball incident, Gio said he just kind of lost his way. Everything he knew was about music, and now he's just kind of out there. So Sunny was like, you got to figure out a path because right now Gio's just kind of doing nothing. He's not in school. He's not playing music. He's just existing. So Sonny was like, you can't keep going on like this. Pick a path. It does not have to be music. He was like, go to the college, pick out a class, see what you like, and see where it goes. So it was good that Sonny brought attention to Gio that he couldn't go on the same path. He's a young man. He should have a purpose, and hopefully he'll figure that out. Um, the only side note I would say to this is that I wish that this was Dante having this conversation with him. I'm glad him and Sonny are getting close, but I can't believe that at this point that Dante is not trying to get close to his son. He knows nothing about Gio. It doesn't seem like he's interested in finding out anything about Gio. Remember from the beginning, he was kind of like he wanted to know something about his son and everything like that when he was talking to Brooklyn. Now it just seems like he's just not even interested. So whatever. Anyway, I'm glad Sunny had this conversation. Hopefully, Gio finds a new path. Maybe music, it may not, but we'll see what happens. Stella came over to Jordan's house to drop her off a housewarming gift. Okay, how long Jordan been living in this apartment? For about 4 or 5 years. I'm just joking, but it's been about a year, I think. And she just bringing over this housewarming gift. Okay, anyway, so Stella comes over, wants to give the gift. She sees Curtis there. Jordan's not there. So Curtis lets her know that he's living there. And Stella kind of brought up a valid point. Stella was like, it's a little quick for you to be, moving into Jordan's. He was like, you haven't even grieved your marriage. So Curtis was like, no, he been grieved his marriage. His marriage been over. He's moving in with Jordan. So they're good with each other. They was kind of going back and forth. He did tell Stella that he signed his half of the house over to Portia. So Stella was like, that's real generous of you and stuff like that. But at the end of everything, Stella just kind of left it alone. She put her point out there, what she thinks is the right way. She was looking for a pen. She wanted to write a note to Jordan just to say, this is the gift I left you and stuff like that. Of course, Stella is going through Jordan's bag looking for this pen because Curtis was like, oh, she probably got a billion pens in that bag. You could go look. Who finds the pregnancy test but Stella? Of course, we know nosy Stella is going to find out. Nosy Stella is going to go over there and tell Jordan, you better tell Curtis. Anyway, so Stella knows. I'm not sure she's going to tell Curtis that there's a pregnancy test in that bag. We'll see. And I call her nosy Stella. I like Stella. I'm just joking. But it does seem like Stella always finds out the dirt before everybody else. But we'll see where this goes. Nathan and Maxie were having that conversation about how he's, wants to be with Lulu. And Lulu knocked on the door. So Lulu came in, and it was so funny because Nathan hightailed it out of there. He was like, well, hopefully you two could come to some kind of compromise, something like that. And he left. And Maxie couldn't believe he left. She was like, you leaving? Anyway, he left, and so that they can have this conversation. So, Maxie was just letting Lulu know, you're my person. This is going to be weird. Who am I supposed to vent to? It's supposed to be me and you. And, I don't have to be filtered around you because you know me. And Lulu was just going to tell her this is just a different way. It's nothing going to change between their friendship. It's just that things have changed. She's going to be with Nathan, blah, blah, blah. So at the end of it, it seemed like Maxie wasn't good with it, but she was slowly accepting the new reality, right? She loves both Nathan and Maxie. So she seems like she's willing to give this, whatever this is between Lulu and Nathan, she's going to step back and not be in that, and also keep her friendship with Lulu. So I guess it's a long road ahead, but it seemed like she's willing to keep her friendship alive. Felicia came in and she saw Maxie, and Maxie was basically telling her the same thing. She was like, you know what? As much as she doesn't like it, she loves both Nathan and Lulu, and she thinks that they deserve some type of happiness. So she's kind of going to step back and she's going to try to keep her friendship with Lulu. I'm not sure if this is it's good talk right now. We'll see what happens because as she starts seeing them grow closer together, I don't know how accepting Maxie is going to stay. So we'll see what happens, but I see some conflict in the midst in the future. So, guys, you know what you should do right now? You should hit that subscribe button because it really helps the channel. Okay, seriously, seriously. All right, so Trina came over to the hospital and she was telling Portia that she had something, nice planned for her and can she get off? So Portia was like, no, you caught me at a good time because I'm off, let's go. So Trina took Portia over to the nail salon. When they opened the door to the nail salon, Jordan and Justine was there. So Portia, Trina was telling her mom, you know what, listen, if you want to, we can leave and come back another day. So Portia was a big girl about it. She said, no, 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 we all got to learn how to coexist anyway. So let's stay, we get our nails done and have a good time. So the two walked in and got their nails done. Justine and Jordan were catching up. Justine was telling Jordan, thank you for saying stay clear, Sunny. And then she had a flashback of her night with Sunny. So we all know she ain't staying clear, Sunny. And then on top of that, Sunny must have put the works on her because she keep on having a flashback. When she walked out the door from the nail salon, she had a flashback. I was like, dang, Sunny, what did you do in that bedroom? So anyway, while she was there, Jordan was just kind of telling her that she moved back in with Curtis and that, she's hoping that everything is just done correctly so that everything is good for both of them. And Justine was kind of congratulating her and kind of reassuring her that it was all going to be good. When Justine left, Portia was looking in on Jordan and she saw Jordan get up and run to the bathroom. So when she came back, this is real funny, but Portia is messed up. So Portia see her come back. Portia got up out of her seat and was just kind of like, you looked as green as I did at that Quartermain party, right? She was like, are you pregnant? She was like, I can't even believe this. She said, are you pregnant at the same time? Girl, bye. That's how we all feel. I'm like, I can't even believe they gonna make this woman pregnant too. It does not make any sense. There's got to be some spin to this. These both cannot be Curtis's babies. I don't want to see this. It is dumb. But I'm telling you one thing. If I was Portia, I would do just like Jordan. I would call Curtis right there from the nail salon, be like, Jordan's pregnant. So anyway, it seemed like Portia caught on. I'm sure Stella's going to tell Curtis he found that pregnancy test in Jordan's bag. So I guess this is the beginning of nonsense. Liz had a busy day. Brooklyn came first and she was talking about the baby. So Liz took her upstairs to see the baby. And Liz was telling her, because Brooklyn was asking, can I, hold the baby? She said, no, only trained volunteers and med staff. So, but she said, you can go in and sit with the baby. I was thinking Brooklyn should just become a trained volunteer. But anyway, she was like, so she went in, sat with the baby, talked to the baby, which is a good thing because it's more contact. From there, Felicia came up to Liz later and was talking about Felicia just came right out. She said, did you hear about Nathan and Lulu? So Liz was like, yeah, she did, but she didn't tell her that Dante had came in and gave her like the Cliff Note version of what was going on. But she was kind of like, she don't want to meddle, but she don't think it's right. And Liz was just kind of telling her, just be there for Maxie and stuff like that, and don't be the meddling parent. So Felicia was like, she's right. And then from there, Dante came in because Dante wanted to give an update that they did find the baby's mother, her last name. So her name is Delilah, but it's like Wilson or something like that. So they're still looking into it, but they wanted to give that update to say that they did find out some type of information. Brooklyn was still in with the baby and Chase came up. I guess Chase wanted to tell her that, the little bit of information he was able to find out about the baby. Um, and Brooklyn was in there talking to the baby, but she did tell Chase, you can go in and talk to her too. So it was sweet. Chase did go in and he was talking to the baby. Then he was singing her a lullaby. So we know eventually these two are going to wind up taking that baby home. Chase asked Dante, can he help with the investigation of finding out who Delilah is? And Dante was like, you can help, but you can't do any detective stuff, so they have to do the initial stuff, Dante and whoever the other detectives are. But he was like, you can look over the stuff as we find things, right? So Chase looked a little bit let down from that, but he said he understood. Um, Later on, Nathan came in with the bags because they found Delilah's bags at the train station and or the airport or something like that. And they brought the bags in and they were going to go look through the bags. So Chase was like, "Can he look through the bags too?" And he was like, "No, you're not a detective." See, this is the problem. This is when, was it worth messing around trying to get Willow free or whatever the heck Chase was up to, but whatever. Anyway, they were in there, Nathan and Dante digging through Delilah's bags. They weren't able to find out anything. There was no information in his bag, no wallet, no nothing. Only thing that they had was Delilah's baggage tags, because you got to put your first and last name on there. So I think her last name is Wilson or something like that. So they said they were going to go check and see if they could find out who this person was. Hopefully that will lead them to who Delilah is or who her family is or something like that. Guys, what did you think about this episode? What was your favorite part? My favorite part this episode probably was Portia confronting Jordan. That was kind of funny to me. I'm sorry. um, and what was your least favorite part? Let me know down in the comment section. I would love to hear from you guys. I love the comment section. I try to answer every single comment that comes through. And guys, don't forget to hit that bell notification and the like and subscribe button because it really helps the channel. And thank you for joining us at GHT Time. See you next time. Bye.